Tell us a little bit about what you saw and being able to relay that message to Cora when you watched Kimbrel pitch and kind of help out so he wasn't tipping his pitches.
So tipping pitches, we hear about it all the time.
People at home understand what tipping pitches is all about.
It's amazing.
And that's remarkable.
Alex, right before we hit record just now, we were doing a classic podcaster faux pas. We call it the pod before the pod. You started to share your thoughts about the new Taylor Swift album with me, and I'll take some credit. I'll take some blame here. I asked you.
You did.
And then as you started to say your piece about the album, I thought, man, maybe we should just be rolling for this part, because this is the good stuff. The true, unfiltered Alex opinion and me reacting to it in real time. But I feel bad because we're never going to be able to recreate the part of when you started telling me there's not enough conversation about Travis Kelce's dick on the album and my reaction to that. See, I don't agree, but I want you to be able to voice your true thoughts about this album. And so here we are on the airwaves of Tipping Pitches, and you have your shot.
Why do
Take
we
a
do
swing.
this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do I do this to myself? I log on here every week. I know what's headed towards me, and yet still I sit here with a stupid grin on my face, being like,
You know
I
what
wonder.
they say.
He's probably got a real question right here.
The definition of insanity is just doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome.
That's for sure.
What do you think? 4.3 Pitchfork? 4.3? Too low? Too high?
Was that the actual? I saw that image going around, but was that the actual review? Have they actually reviewed it yet? I don't think they have.
Is that what? Did I get got? Did I get Rogan'd?
I think you
Jamie,
might have.
pull that up. No, I saw some individual articles, blogs about songs, but I did not see their official review.
Yeah, I know they
What are
wrote
they
about
waiting
Always
for?
Romantic, but just for the hype machine to die down a little bit, you know, clear the field so that they can come in with their take.
I would say that's not a very good SEO strategy. They should be much more like Rolling Stone, get really out there.
Wall to wall coverage. Yes, yeah. This new Taylor Swift album. It's the first week of the playoffs, and here we are talking about the most important thing in the world of baseball. It's fine.
It's fine. See, that's the kind of take that sells
It does.
podcast ads.
People are like, you should make sure to come down right in the middle.
Uh-huh.
I think it's
Well, you're just trying to bring back decorum.
I am trying to bring back decorum. I think it's far better than anyone is giving it credit for.
Wow.
I'm not saying
Okay.
I think it's a great album, and it's certainly not one of my favorite albums. But I don't know. You see this a lot with artists, but I think especially with Taylor is like in the days leading up to it, people start forming their opinions about the album, right? A song, the lyrics to a song leaks, or people hear something about this other song, or you hear the snippet, the whole album leaks. And by the time it drops, everyone's opinion on it is like calcified already. Calcified, if you will. If you will.
That was
I
a
won't.
4.3 out of 10.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's fun in a lot of different places. I think she's definitely cringe on this album. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes maybe not intentionally. That's just the era she's in right now. But I don't know. She's a pop star who made a pop record. It's fun. She's not taking it too seriously, you know?
I have a couple thoughts.
Okay.
The album suffers from having the best song of the album first, and then getting progressively worse as it goes along.
Interesting take. Fate of Ophelia.
That's my take.
Okay.
Yep. That's my take about that. The lyrics are dumb. They're exceptionally dumb. And
you mean like across the board?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right.
You can't spend the better part of the last 8 years talking about how great of a lyricist and a poet you are, and then write an album with lyrics like this. All that being said, music's good, pretty catchy. I'm fine with it. Not mad.
Yeah.
Probably won't come back to it all that often, but I'm not currently at a moment in my life where I'm opening my phone and being like, time to put a Taylor Swift record on.
I see myself listening to a lot of Opalite in the coming days and weeks.
I find the song annoying. And I'm surprised that you like that song. I think it suffers from something that you've articulated quite well, which is it sounds like it's in a Toyota commercial.
But I disagree with that. I think it sounds like
Happy Honda days.
I think it's like sort of almost Shake It Off era Taylor. You know, I mean,
Shake It Off literally is a revival of Shake It Off era.
Yes, I mean it literally is working with Max Martin, but I don't know. It's
and Shellback. Don't be a hater.
And Shellback. I love Shellback. Shellback's my guy. We're talking to him a little bit later about the Blue Jays.
He's gonna love that you said that. He's gonna really appreciate that you implied that he is Shellback.
I don't know. I think thematically it's interesting at times. You can tell it's definitely being recorded during literally like between legs of the Eras tour. It has that gloss to it a little bit. It's maybe not the maximalist pop that appeared on 1989 or Reputation. She's doing a little Sabrina Carpenter impression throughout, you know. She's being
right
sexy and kind of ironic right down to the last song. Yeah. When I read the lyrics, I'm not a bad bitch and this isn't savage. I was like, Taylor, what are you doing? We're done. You don't need to do the internet slang anymore. That's okay.
That is my main gripe with her in the last 4 years.
I think she pulls it off in the song.
All right, whatever. That's fine.
I don't think she pulls off Did You Girl Boss Too Close to the Sun, but they can't all be winners.
I'm pretty exhausted by internet brain creeping out into real life. And that this album is another example of that. It has the same criticism that I had for the Tortured Poets Permit.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the AMC release party of a Showgirl.
I haven't even asked you about that. What was it?
Well, they played the music video for The Fate of Ophelia.
Okay.
And then they did a lot of lyric videos for the rest of the album.
Sounds about right.
Interspersed with the making of the music video. So like some behind the scenes content, some interview stuff, and an amazing moment where truly one of the greatest cinematographers of all time, Rodrigo Prieto, is on camera as the cinematographer for her music video, which he has now been the cinematographer for many of them. I mean, no shade. He's got to pay for like his kids' private school tuition too. You know, he's got to pay for his beach house, I guess. This man shot The Irishman, you know? This man shot The Wolf of Wall Street. I love it.
We contain multitudes, you know?
I was really gassed up when that happened. It really felt like a culmination of all my interests. Yep. Rodrigo Prieto on screen at the release party of a Showgirl. Me be like the one guy in the crowd, be like, yes, there he is. I think my biggest takeaway was that they should do this for every single album ever released. I'd love to sit in an amphitheater listening to Dolby Atmos.
I agree.
Songs.
Yes.
I think it's good. I think it's cool. I think we should use movie theaters for more stuff like this. I don't think that it should be showing every 20 minutes at every movie theater across America like it was, taking screens away from real movies such as One Battle After Another, which for some reason you've decided to draw a line in the sand and say that you're not going to see.
Look, on the Patreon, I get roasted for not watching baseball. On the... which may be a fair critique. On the main feed, I get roasted for not watching movie. I'm like, look, there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, how are you feeling
here?
I was led to believe you have a few hobbies, a few interests, and that we sit down here once a week, sometimes twice a week, to talk about those. We're going to talk about some of those hobbies, I think.
Yeah. I think
throughout the rest of this episode, we're going to talk about the playoffs so far. As Alex alluded to, we did do a Patreon 3 Up 3 Down midweek. That was during the wild card round. We now have obviously the outcome of the wild card round and are in the midst of the division series. We'll talk about those. And as you alluded to, we are going to be joined by friend of the show and Blue Jays correspondent Steve Sladkowski, dispatching in from his tour across the world with his band named PUP, as well as Jeff Rosenstock. Steve did what I wish more guests would do, which is he called his own shot. He was like, I gotta come on. I gotta talk about the Jays. You gotta have me on. And I was like, Steve, I'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
We're always looking for something to talk about that we don't have to come up with the idea for. So if you're a former guest or prospective guest listening to this and would like to come on, I encourage you to do what Steve did and shoot your shot. Before we do all of that, I am Bobby Wagner.
And I am Alex Baisley.
And you are listening to the Tipping Pitches podcast. Yo, before we get into it, Tipping Pitches, not the podcast, the thing,
The concept.
is out of control. Can we spend a couple minutes talking about this?
Yes. Actually.
When you pitch bad, you can't just be like, "Well, I was tipping, and that's the reason."
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my foot down here. You guys are overusing it. You're watering it down. Tipping pitches used to mean something. It used to mean a 10-minute cold open about Taylor Swift. It used to mean a watch along of A-Rod's YouTube channel. It used to mean ranking the jersey sponsors. It didn't used to mean you got shelled in your first relief appearance in the fucking division series.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with this.
No, and we are well aware of this because we have Google alerts set up for the phrase tipping pitches, just on the off chance that we are cited by a lamestream media source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're often cited in the New York Post.
We're often cited in Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
That's the most common. They do like write-ups of what's happening on social media, and as you know, we're tastemakers on XD Everything app.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the Sports Illustrated editors who listen to this podcast anxiously awaiting our tweets. No, you're right. It feels like every few days there's a new article that comes out that says Matt Strom was tipping his pitches. This other, Blue Jays pitcher was tipping.
Luke Weaver.
Sometimes you don't got the fastball, and that's okay. Tipping pitches also, I want to be clear, does mean something specific. Like if you are not differentiating your pitch mix or hitters are picking up the ball out of your hand better. That doesn't qualify as tipping pitches to me.
Agreed.
Tipping pitches in my mind, right? The listeners know what it's all about. But when I think about
people
tipping
at home
pitches,
understand.
exactly,
Yeah.
they do understand. But in
Let's
my
check
mind,
in with
it's
Alex
something-
Cora because he knows what it's all about. I mean, it's amazing.
It's something that happens usually prior to the delivery of the pitch,
Or
when they are
mid-delivery.
or
It could be during the-
mid delivery. Yes, something that you're doing maybe with your glove, maybe with how long you're holding on to the ball, or something like that. But if your curveball just didn't have the spin that it needed,
Correct.
sounds like you should up that torque on your wrist.
Strom giving away his grip in the glove technically qualifies as tipping pitches. This is what
Yeah.
happened to him yesterday
Mhm.
because he was tipping it off to the guy at second base who was relaying it to home.
Yeah.
Technically, that is tipping pitches. I gotta say, the spirit of it didn't feel right. He's like, tipping to me is more subtle than this. That's just giving away your pitches.
Right.
You're not tipping, you're telling. That's telling pitches. Weaver, maybe he's tipping. I think Helsley was tipping
Mhm.
since he got traded to the Mets. Something about how where his hands came set was different by pitch type. It has to be that subtle and that unique.
Yeah.
It's sophisticated. It's refined. What we do here, it's
Not everyone can
sophisticated.
do it. You know,
That's exactly. Some say nobody can do it. Nobody has tried. Nobody
Some
else has
say,
tried.
Some say nobody should even do it.
I just don't want it to become this sort of thing that, like many things in culture, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want it to become gaslighting.
Right. Or wokeness. Right. It's just like,
Or
we'll just
wokeness.
blame it on the tipping pitches.
Right.
Part
I don't want
of
to-
it is self-preservation too.
Yeah.
Because I don't like
we
being
need to
blamed
keep
that much.
Yeah, we need to keep that SEO
Keep the
tight.
brand clean.
tight,
Mhm.
as we've always done.
Yeah.
Okay. People are like, they marvel at our brand marketing. They marvel at our ability to promote the show, at our ability to stay at top of the search engines.
Mhm.
Man, I don't want it to become like communism. Everything you don't like is communism. And when you're a pitcher, everything that happened that was bad to you is suddenly tipping pitches. No.
Right. Yeah.
No.
We need to bring back accountability, personal responsibility.
Yeah.
You know?
No. I threw a dud up there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things are a dud. Sometimes things are a stinker.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're a bum. Sometimes you go out.
Sometimes you threw a meatball.
Uh-huh.
Let's bring some variety to the vocabulary of sucking, especially during the playoffs.
Thank you for bringing this up. I'm glad we clarified this. We disavow all instances of tipping pitches. There can only be one.
Okay, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. As the foremost connoisseurs of tipping pitches that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Even though when we came up with the title for this podcast, neither of us really had any conception of what that meant for the show. We just thought it sounded cool.
Nope. Yeah, it was just like, we should do a baseball phrase, right? Turn 2?
Turn 2 would have been pretty good.
Turn 2 would have been pretty good. Triple play? Wouldn't have made as much sense.
Presumably turn 2 was taken.
I think that is why we opted.
There's got to be like 8 pods out there that are called turn 2. No one else is called tipping pitches. Not that I've come across yet. Which makes it all the more confounding as to why tippingpitches.com was like $10,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That
On
GoDaddy broker did nothing for us.
Yeah. He shanked us is what he did.
He did.
Maybe we tipped our pitches to him and he knew how badly we wanted it.
I think we did.
All right, what are we talking about first today? I don't even know what we intended to talk about first. You want to just broadly share some thoughts about how the playoffs have gone so far? Last time we talked, you had watched 1 hour of playoff baseball. Where's that at?
Yeah. It's up now. That number is up.
Okay.
And going up by the day.
Compounding.
Bit of a snowball effect, you might say. There's no putting that cat back in the bag.
Yeah. That genie.
That's the one. There we go. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd hate to have to put the cat back in the bag either, though, you know?
Yeah, especially a feral cat.
What are you talking
about? What do we got? We're in the division series. I think that the wild card, it's obviously been over for a few days, so we won't dwell too much on it, but I think that it kind of turned out about how we expected it to go.
Yeah. You were right about the Cubs. They did beat the Padres.
Yep.
That bummed me out.
I know it did. I'm sorry. Dodgers skated through as well.
Skated through? Oh, like easily. You're saying.
Yes.
Is that what skated means in this context? I guess skated means it happened easily and scraped by.
Yes.
Would be you just Okay. Latest episode of the Tipping Pitches Etymology Corner.
How do we do this?
I don't know. It's just the English language is beautiful and it contains multitudes.
It really does. So we got Blue Jays Yankees.
I'll tell you what, the Yankees just scraped by.
I don't even know if I would say they did scrape by.
The wild card round. In the wild
card round. Yes, yeah. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Scraped by.
Did not skate whatsoever in that series. The Cam Schlitter performance was unbelievable. Schlittler.
Yeah.
I missed the second L.
Yeah. You should know all about extra L's.
Was that just a taking L's joke?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Making sure. I'm gonna just make sure to get the clarification on what each of the jokes are that you're making.
Should we go back and try it again? You know, because a couple weeks ago we did reveal that we try every joke a couple times to see which one lands the best.
That's true. The listeners don't know that was the 4th time we did that joke. So Schlittler, yeah,
Schlittler,
and you know what? Even that wasn't as bad of a pronunciation as Mad Dog Russo's, who just kind of sounded like he had marbles in his mouth trying to pronounce.
I didn't even hear this. You being closer to the Mad Dog than me is a real curveball.
It is concerning. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah. What is there to say? Do you have any sort of final thoughts on how the wild card turned out?
Broadly, I think the wild card round was better than it's been in the past. Previously, the wild card round has led to a lot of sweeps, Not a lot of close series, not a lot of great baseball, to be honest, the past couple of years. I don't know that that's necessarily an indictment of the format per se, more so just the fact that baseball takes a while to stabilize and you can't really glean all that much from just a couple of years of 3-game series sample size. But I found it to be rather entertaining this year. There was a nice mix of pitchers duels, which is pretty rare. I know on the Patreon we talked about Fried versus Crochet being a little bit of a turn back the clock moment. Not to just focus too much on Red Sox Yankees, because that was the quote unquote marquee series. I think that was the best series of all of them. Schlittler in game 3, there were a couple statistical measures by which that was the best performance in a playoff game by a starter ever. I mean, you could probably argue based on a couple of other things, but the only player to strike out 12 and walk none in 8 innings in a playoff game ever.
Yeah.
Not just the only rookie player, not just the only Yankees player, not just the only player of the StatCast era or whatever. Like, he just ever.
That was
crazy.
pretty. I did a double take when I saw that stat. I was like, someone messed something up here. I'm sure they'll correct it. They didn't. It was true.
No, it was just true. I'm bummed that the Yankees advanced, but at least that sets it up for maybe heroic moment from our hometown Blue Jays. I'm bummed about the Padres being eliminated, but it's just how the chips fall, I guess.
I do think it's funny that on one side of the bracket we're just getting AL East games. Like it's just in division series for the Red Sox and Yankees and Blue Jays. There's no way around that.
To your point about in the narrative ball episode last week, we talked about what is the narrative if the Tigers eliminate Cleveland and then advance. And then this, I think, was drilled even more home by the Tigers winning game 1 against the Mariners in extra innings. The narrative is that once the playoffs actually start, it doesn't really matter how badly you collapsed over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
We saw this in 2023 with the Rangers, who played terribly over the last 6 weeks, just barely made it in after coughing up the division lead. And then they just went on an incredible run to the World Series. I'm not saying that that's what's happening with the Tigers, but there were a lot of moments throughout that Cleveland series where it looked like, all right, the devil magic is here. Cleveland is pulling their best St. Louis Cardinals impression. They're trailing. They're stranding the Tigers runners on base. They're scraping by. Certainly not skating by. They're scraping by. And then the Tigers still somehow won game 3 on the road in Cleveland in kind of convincing fashion. And I was happy to see that, because you know what? I would not have loved the small market Cleveland Guardians just have no quit in them. -6 run differential. Look at this. Genius. Chris Antonetti, a genius.
Is
the
that
true
their
model
GM?
franchise. Yeah,
Antonetti?
is it not?
I think it is. I just have never really thought about the Tigers GM.
No, I'm talking about Cleveland.
Oh.
Chris Antonetti is an American professional baseball executive and the president of baseball operations for the Cleveland Guardians.
Povo. God damn it.
He used to work for the Montreal Expos, and then he moved to Cleveland in 1999.
Fascinating stuff. I want to experience the new millennium through the eyes of an American.
He was promoted in 2010 after Mark Shapiro left. This is riveting stuff.
This is really good for him.
He was in the room for that Moneyball scene. He's one of those guys.
He's one of those guys in the background. Yeah.
He's one of the guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I was happy to see the Tigers fight through. I don't really have anything against the Guardians specifically, but I think narratively it was more interesting for the Tigers to win. And your point is well taken that the Guardians have sort of been the de facto face of the small market teams getting it done, scraping by, just cobbling together wins, And I'm not saying there's no place for that in baseball. You might be.
I am.
I know you are. But it just makes for a less exhilarating like playoffs.
For me, it's mostly I just don't want any teams from the Midwest to succeed. I'm I'm like, if you're not from a coast, because I care about the rating. Like I care about the TV ratings. above
Right.
all
No,
else.
it's true, which are good. So I hear.
Are they?
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, take me down the Sports Business Journal corner. I know you want
No,
to.
I can't do it. I'm not going to.
I know you want.
I'm not going to do it.
You can.
No, they've been growing. Ratings are up this year. We won't lie. Rob Manfred is working. I'm loath to hand it to him, but he's getting it done. He's bringing it back to the center of the cultural zeitgeist. You go to the water cooler at work. It's just guys like, you see Scooble last night?
That's not been my experience. My experience has been, you like sports? Nice.
Oh, that's good for you. Little pat on the head.
Having a lot more conversations about the life of a showgirl than I am about the life of Tarek Scooble.
I was talking with someone the other day who is like kind of a Yankees fan, but not really, who also has no awareness of Taylor. So I was like, are you a Taylor Swift fan? What'd you think of the new album? He was like, I like Shake It Off. I was like, oh my God.
Oh man, you struck out.
Yeah. Sorry. We're not talking about it. And then he asked me, he was like, what do you think about ABS? And I was like, I don't know that I have a choice at this point. But frankly, you know what I will say? These playoffs are radicalizing me in favor of it. And I think
the four strike calls.
Because of the four strike zone. There have just been a couple calls that feel too big to miss. And I think this happens every year, right? Like you miss a borderline call in the middle of the regular season. It stings for a little bit. And then you kind of move on because it's a long season. And these things just like weigh heavier under the bright lights of October. I know there was a call in the Padres Cubs game where Xander Bogaerts got. There were a couple calls in that game, but there was one near the end that was just one of those things that just can't happen.
Well, it can happen,
and it does, and it will happen until morale improves.
No, I've heard that morale has already been selected to improve next year.
Is this a psyop for Rob Manfred?
Oh, you think he's telling them to blow some calls?
Mm-hmm. Right. Go out there and make the case for ABS.
Like, to what end? He already has the power to employ it.
Well, I guess, but...
And everybody seems to be already in favor of it. He doesn't need to manufacture the consent. This is the rare case where the consent is already given by most parties involved.
All right, that's fair. I thought I'd stumbled onto a conspiracy theory there, but...
No, keep trying, though. I love when you land on a conspiracy. Keep it on. Never comes off, dude. You sleep with that thing on. There's always 5G rays out there that you gotta protect yourself.
That's true.
What is the origin of the tinfoil hat? Like, what did the original person who donned it think that it was protecting them from?
I think it
like
was something to
brain
that
control
effect
waves.
of, like there were waves out there in the
mind reading.
Right.
Like you're going to be able to hear my true thoughts unless I put this on.
Interesting. A tinfoil. Tinfoil hat.
Wait. Cite your source.
Sorry,
this is Gemini.
No, this is from Grokpedia. Yeah, it's often worn in the belief or hope that it shields the brain from threats such as electromagnetic fields, mind control, and mind reading. So all of the above, really. It's kind of a one-stop shop to keep that noggin safe.
And all you needed was aluminum foil because tin's not real. They don't put tin in that anymore. Tin is real. Sorry, that's not my conspiracy, but it's cancerous, so they don't put that in the foil anymore.
Right, exactly. People were wrapping their heads in tin and being like, "They're not going to get me. This brain is safe now."
That's one of those things that I won't do. I won't call it aluminum foil though. That's tin foil.
It is tin foil, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page about this. Who was the first person to throw it on?
Well, interestingly, if you take Vice magazine's word for it,
yeah,
which I know you do, it's your homepage.
Yeah, especially because of Gavin McInnes's feelings on the world. This is the exact type of thing that I would go to him for his opinion on. The need to wear a tinfoil hat.
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Apparently, it can be traced back in popular culture to a short story written in 1927 where the main character uses a metal hat to prevent being mind controlled by the villain scientist. So another example
Who
of
wrote the short story though?
Julian Huxley.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar? I don't know if there's a relation to Aldous Huxley. Doesn't appear to
It
be. No, in
sounds-
fact, he was a biologist, eugenicist, and internationalist. Interesting.
Come on, bro. There's like a 40% chance that any guy that you hear about from the 1920s was a eugenicist.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It was like there was like a jobs program for eugenicists back then.
Aldous Huxley's brother. I see. Okay. Yeah.
It was his brother.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
his
what I was going to
brother.
say. So, that's alarming. What were they doing back then? Fucking Hoover was just like, we need more eugenicists. Not enough.
Kind of. Yes.
But why did they need more eugenicists? My feeling about eugenicists is that they all just say the same thing. You know, they're just like, well, it's all about protecting whiteness or whatever. Like,
I mean,
producing more.
I mean, to be clear, I think that is the goal of eugenics, is to get as many eugenicists in the room as possible so that no one else is there. That's it, is they think they're the only one.
It's curious though, because it's not the type of science where you just need like more people to recreate the experiment or whatever. It wasn't like how Oppenheimer was like, we need more theoretical physicists in America to be able to even get us to the point of building the bomb. It's like eugenicists, it's all just made up to begin with. You don't need more people to make up the same thing, right?
Right. And
you look really comfortable with this line of discussion.
And moving over to the Tigers Mariners series.
No, let's do the Strauss thing. Let's do the Strauss.
Oh, Strauss.
Now I got
yes.
Oppenheimer on the brain. We're already talking about helmets. We're already talking about Strauss versus Strauss. Let's just really quickly talk about them. The branded helmet, the advertising on the helmet that has been going back a couple postseasons now at this point. Strauss workwear. Alex thought it would be fun to just, as a little bonus, throw them in with our list of most evil jersey sponsors, since they are prominently displayed during the playoffs.
They are. They feel sort of like the kind of honorary 31st jersey patch sponsor. Or I guess not 31st, because not every team has one. But the only other piece of advertising that appears on every player that comes to the plate, Strauss, which is otherwise known as Strauss Deutschland GmbH and Co. KG. Which I know is how you and I refer to it kind of in our conversations.
I don't know why that just had 3 more syllables than I was expecting. This just made me laugh. I just chuckled.
Yeah, they're like a workwear and PPE company.
Bro, good dudes love workwear.
Dudes love workwear so much.
They love workwear. I see a Carhartt logo. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, this guy likes Carhartt.
I love Carhartt.
She's so crazy. Oh my God. I mean, I got to be honest. Weighing this against a lot of the jersey patch sponsors, like already just out of the gate, they are far less evil than I think of a vast majority of the other companies that we have considered.
Yeah.
Who are doing extractive
Totally agree.
capitalism, or who are profiting off of life insurance,
yes,
or health insurance, or fomenting fear among Americans to sell them
fomenting
security. Yeah,
is that a different thing than fomenting? Depends on where you're from in the country. The regional accent.
That was an accent thing. That was an accent thing.
I agree.
We pronounce the R's in our O's.
In Oakland, California.
It's actually Orkland, California.
That was good. That was funny. Nicely done. Hey guys, we got that one on the first try though. So all the other jokes, we did it 3 or 4 times, and that one was the first time. I think it's funny that the sponsors for the postseason, remember when there was like the whole like, this is the Doosan NLDS or whatever, like this is the John Deere ALCS. I find it funny that the brands that sponsor the rounds of the postseason, or like they come in and they sponsor the helmets during the postseason, like they actually typically operate like real brands who sell real products, because otherwise why would you want to sponsor it for this defined period of time when people are really watching it? Like there's actually a return on investment proposition there that doesn't need to exist when you're just the team's jersey sponsor. That's more of a financial transaction situation. That's more of a relationship building type of thing, which I find ironic.
Yes. Yeah. Camping
Owners,
World.
the league is not doing some random brand of the favor of manufacturing the consent by putting them on the jersey during the playoffs in the way that the 30 individual owners do.
Right. They're just like, yeah, let's get Capital One in here because that
Correct.
makes sense for both of us. That's
right. Then people will open Capital One. They're doing it like it's supposed to be done. They're like, this is how advertising is supposed to work. This is just like
league
Don
still
Draper said.
practices marketing the right way, you know?
Yeah.
It is just like Don Draper says.
Great show. Did you ever watch that?
I did, yeah.
The whole thing?
No.
No.
I'm still working my way through it. I have like a season left.
Oh, so this is like you're like currently watching it.
Yes.
Or are you on pause?
First time. Well, I haven't watched it in a couple weeks, but it is ongoing.
When will you commit to finishing it?
Apparently, between seeing all the movies you want me to see and all the baseball you want me to watch.
I'm just wondering what else you're doing. You got a good thing coming at the end.
I watched both Charlie's Angels movies last night.
Why?
I want to talk cinema.
Okay. All right. Good for you. I didn't watch any movies yesterday.
Really? This was your one movie free day yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I was supposed to go in the morning at 8:30 to see One Battle After Another, and then I was like, it's like an hour on the train, 8:30 a.m. There's not really long previews for this format because of the premium large screen format. They're not showing very many previews for this. I was like, I've already seen it twice. Let me just move this to a more reasonable time. And I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm going to go see it tomorrow instead.
Classic.
No. Yesterday, I watched 0 movies.
Mm.
I did go to the 92nd Street Y for the Big Picture live show, which is sort of like watching a movie.
Right. Was it fun?
Movie,
you enjoyed
movie
yourself?
of my life.
Right.
Last night was a movie. Did I enjoy myself? Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice time. It was weird.
I'm sure.
Genuinely weird.
What were we talking about? We were doing something. Strauss.
Strauss. I think it is probably Strauss.
I think so. As we said, they're competing with oil companies and defense contractors.
Mm-hmm.
Their core business model is workwear.
Yeah.
I tend to give them the benefit of the doubt. It sounds like
But consider maybe what if someone who works at Energy Transfer while building the Dakota Access Pipeline is wearing Strauss. It allows them to do what they do at Energy Transfer.
Interesting. I did not consider that.
If not for Strauss, they'd have to be out there naked, and then they might not come to work, and then it might not get done.
Yep, I agree.
Just something to consider.
It
or
sounds,
as you say in your part of the country, something to consider.
It sounds like they have had, like labor rights allegations in their supply chain. They sound like a clothing manufacturer.
Yes.
Feels par for the course. And yeah, I don't know. They're one of these companies that's a part of these, like a Fair Wear Foundation consortiums of groups that want to improve the conditions under which these clothes are made. Yada, yada. I don't know how much stock to put in that. But again, it sort of seems like they're a middle of the road clothing maker who probably have questionable labor practices in their factories because that's how good products get made.
Yes. They also
Pressure builds diamonds.
I'm always saying that. You know what we also used to say? Pressure busts pipes. You're aware of this.
Yeah, I am aware of that. Yeah.
But AI wants me to know that Engelbert Strauss and Levi Strauss are not related. Just in case you
That is good to know. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing left to do is purchase an item of clothing from them
and see what it's like
and give it a test run ourselves. That's the final test. Is the product good?
Is that the final test?
Well, that's in my mind. It is.
But if the clothing, so you're saying if the clothing is bad, that bumps it down the list? Let's just look at the list. Where could it go up to if the clothing is great, and how far could it fall if the clothing sucks? That's what I want to know.
Well, to be clear, though, I think if the clothing sucks, it goes up the list, right?
Yes, then you know what I meant.
Look, I can't let that slide. After months of being ridiculed on my own podcast for not knowing how most to least goes, what direction that is.
I'm just trying to foment some chaos here, dude.
It's a tight band. They're falling in the bottom third for me.
Yeah, agreed. I think there's no world in which they're more evil than Sheets.
Yeah.
Sheets sells gasoline.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was kind of looking at that 22, 23 positioning, right? That's where
Which
you have
for the
Motorola,
Yeah.
Quick Trip,
Yeah.
respectively.
I think, yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it goes lower than that? Do you think it is less evil than Meyer or Nintendo? I think not Nintendo. I think Meyer feels the floor for me.
Well, Nintendo is fighting the last great fight against ChatGPT and OpenAI. So I think we might need to reassess whether Nintendo is too high based on that.
Or too too high. Yes, you're right. You were right on that
Look
one.
at you. You thought you were going to get me? Nope. I'm like the Terminator. I'd already adjusted. Yes, for people who don't know, Nintendo's copyright being infringed has maybe potentially led them to be one of the very few companies that is willing to stand up to OpenAI about copyright infringement, preventing generative AI from being able to just steal everyone's copyright. This is a possibility. We don't know what's going to come of this, but Nintendo's got a shot here. I think they're more evil than Nintendo. I think they're more evil than Meyer. I think it's a toss-up between them and Quick Trip. I have to say I think they're less evil than Motorola, simply because I would guess that they are less extractive. They're a similar capitalist manufacturer of goods, but they're making clothing, and Motorola is making electronics.
There's also just something about
is just like ripping more like rare earth metals out of the ground, probably.
Yeah. There's also just something about telecommunications that I'm just kind of inherently distrustworthy about.
We're like, what do you have? What have you?
Yeah, what have you done
really
there?
made money?
Where's the back door?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that puts it then at 23.
But like unofficially, because I don't think that we can really weigh how evil it is for Strauss to be on the helmets for 3 weeks versus Motorola to be there for a whole year.
I agree.
All right. Good idea, though. This was fun.
Thanks for indulging me.
If anyone has any more information on Strauss that they'd like to provide us,
what our boy Engelbert was getting up to.
Yeah. They were just a family company.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder when that started as an origin. Like, we're just a family company, you know?
Probably a while. I think family companies have been around for a while.
Yeah, but when did it start to become the type of thing where it's like we say we're a family company in order to, trick people into thinking that we are more reliable and a small mom and pop style operation?
Right. Like us. I mean, that's how we refer to tipping pitches.
I know. And we're, little did everybody know, funded by Palantir.
Is there anything more we have to say about the playoffs?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Is there anything more to say about the life of a showgirl?
I think there's a lot more to say, but I would advise us not to spend more time on this week's episode saying it. If you really feel strongly about it, in 10 days we can talk about it on the Patreon.
All right,
episode.
great. All right, should we go to Steve then?
We should. And we're going to go talk to our friend Steve Sladkowski.
Oh, man.
Riverside's rolling so we can capture Steve's maniacal laughter. Steve Sladkowski of PUP the band is here. More importantly, Steve Sladkowski of Ontario, Canada is here to talk about the Blue Jays. Steve, I have a little anecdote for you, as a podcaster want to do. I was on the train on the way home from dinner today to do this podcast, and I saw a man wearing a Toronto Blue Jays quarter zip on the New York City subway while playing the New York Yankees in the postseason. And so my first question for you, Mr. Sladkowski, is, are the Toronto Blue Jays the international revolution of the proletariat that we've been waiting for, or what?
I mean, as to quote Big Papi in the post game, they're hotter than Jamaica in the middle of the summer.
It's hard to argue with that these days.
You know, I just I don't know. You know, you venerate someone on your screen. You shake hands with someone in your locker room. It's hard to say whether or not you're tempting fate with stuff like that if you're the New York Yankees, but it's fine. 2 games. I think if you had told me that this is how if this is how these 2 games would have gone, I would have said you've put me in the rubber room. I think that I would have been in the loony bin because I genuinely coming into it, I was like, all right, they beat the tar out of the Yankees at home. Sure. You know, George Springer in July, real shit. But I was like, well, it feels like it's going to be close. Like, yesterday was like, all right, fine. They jumped all over them. And today I was like, well, I personally am a Max Fried skeptic. Again, they've fucking worked him a couple of times this year. But I was like, but maybe not today. You know, maybe they'll win today. Maybe it'll be close. Mm-hmm. And do not let that final score fool you, man. They got 7 runs off of guys that John Schneider just put in there because he wants to have Trey Savage for game 4 if they need to get there. Mm-hmm. Trey Savage is it's like if Max Scherzer's brain was in Justin Verlander's body, I think. I think that's what we're dealing
terrifying.
with here.
That's a genuinely terrifying thought.
I was like sitting there, I was like, this is psychotic. He has the most strikeouts of any Jays pitcher in a postseason debut.
Yeah, I think he had the first pitcher to throw like 5+ no-hit innings and get 11 strikeouts. I mean, again, it's like you start to get into territory where you're like, how many of these variables are we tweaking to make this a nice stat that fits on it? But like, that's fucking sick, dude. Like and seeing his family there in the stands was awesome.
And it's like a total, like, obviously because I'm in the US, I have the FS1 feed. I thought I was going to be more annoyed with John Smoltz after game 1. But surprisingly, it's been okay. You know, I do miss, I don't know if you guys know this, but like, in Canada, Sportsnet has the Jays playoff run. So for the whole, however long the Jays are in it, it's, Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez. So I do miss that. Mm-hmm. But, as it stands right now, if the Jays, pull it out, I get home game 1 of the CS. So I'm pretty excited.
The Vlad Jr. bat flip following the Grand Slam in today's game. Really incredible stuff. Made me think of one Jose Bautista. Mm-hmm. The last time the Jays were here. Where does it stack up for you, kind of in your mind, in terms of big moments? Because that one felt like such an earth-shattering moment. Here, the Jays were already, I think, up 5-0, and it felt more just like an exclamation mark. But your thoughts?
I mean, I think with the Yankees 5-run, like this is sort of the thing. Like even though that they can't win in Toronto this year, 5 runs, you're like, all right, this is great, but like, I don't know, and just absolute fucking cinema. Have you seen the shot that FS1 had yet? Where they have the cameraman camera person who has like Vlad in profile gets the bat flip and immediately zooms in behind Vlad to Max Fried's face. Have you seen that clip yet?
I have not.
Oh man, it's good. Cinema. I think
I'm watching it right now.
I mean, I just saw one battle after another. I don't know which I like more, in terms of filmmaking right now. Yeah, I think the thing is, Vlad had a pretty pedestrian September, and I think that stressed people out for good reason, right? And then now it doesn't matter. Like it's just like he like hitting that home run yesterday felt like a different sort of. It's just like right, you know that he can do this. I think the thing that he's been learning, at least that's as like a again, I did not expect. We had a chat at the beginning of the season, and I did not expect to be here with you guys at all. But I think what he's learning this year is how to play for the entire season. I think that was something that maybe he just like. I don't know that he would ever say that, but just like he looks to be in better shape, I think, than he ever has been. He's not, he was showing some frustration in September, but he just like, it just didn't ever feel like it was getting off the rails. I think there were times, even in the playoffs a few years ago, that wild card series against Tampa a few years ago when Ryu was pitching on in one of them, like, he just didn't look like prepared or ready. And just like, he looks like a fucking world beater right now.
I think you can forget that he's only 26 years old because he came up so young, because his dad was in our lives for so long, because he was a baby at the All-Star game. Like, he was born in 1999. It
is psycho.
Insane. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
MLB Stats put out, just after the game ended, just put out Vlad's career numbers now updated against the Yankees. A 311 average, 24 home runs, 80 RBI, 52 extra base hits, and a 941 OPS in 104 games.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
That is calling the Yankees their daddy. Calling yourself the Yankees daddy?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's been obviously John Dominici and Jeff Rosenstock's band, right? We're on tour with them right now, and he's a Yankees fan. And we watched game one yesterday together because we were in Oakland for a gig, and we're off today, so we've just been texting each other because they're going all the way to Portland, and we're in Medford, Oregon. And he was like, "I'm so glad the Yankees have a new Big Papi."
Right, exactly.
And you know what? So am I.
Yeah.
And so is the world, frankly.
Yeah. It is nice to that Canada is providing America with America's team, with no disrespect to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, this is coming on the heels of just a few weeks ago, Masson broadcaster saying that Canadian baseball fans had low IQs. But
oh yeah. Who was that? Brian Roberts.
Brian Roberts,
yes, a guy who went to the Yankees from the Orioles to try and win a World Series. By the way, well, yeah. I mean, I guess you don't really need to have high IQ if you just go out there and shit can the best team, the best offense in baseball,
right,
2 days in a row. No, you don't have to think. I don't need to think.
Right, brain off, just play.
Yeah. What was it? They outscored them 23-8 over these past two games.
Yep, that'll do. That'll play.
Yeah, like Max Fried, get a grip, buddy. Carlos Rodon, you're next.
Steve,
man,
I'm glad you mentioned Jeff. I'm glad you mentioned the tour, because you sent me a text earlier in the week that was what I encourage former guests and future prospective guests of the Tipping Pitches podcast to do, which is call your shot to come on the show. You got something to say? Text me about it. You got something you got to get on your chest? Text me about it. So talk the listeners through your headspace when you were like, it's time. It's time for me to come on and talk about the 2025 Toronto Blue Jays. What were you feeling confident enough to do that?
It's crazy that I did that before game one, but
it is.
But
God was rewarding your confidence, bro.
And listen, I can't believe they're here. I genuinely can't believe it. And the fact that they look like Vlad looks like he did when he finished second behind Shohei in AL MVP voting, like fucking out of nowhere. And like somehow, like fucking Shane Bieber is starting tomorrow or on Tuesday. They have a Cy Young like winner with playoff experience starting game 3. I had been talking about, I've been kind of to John especially, but to basically any like friends, I thought this Savage game was almost a bigger lock than the Gosman game, because that's too much to deal with, having never seen him before. Like, like I think
he had
Schlittler
like 13 major league innings under his belt or something like that.
Yeah, but he's like, and I don't know if you saw like Ken Rosenthal, old Kenny,
my personal enemy, Ken Rosenthal.
Do you guys know about when he called me a wise guy? Like, it's in my Twitter bio, but he actually did.
No,
once.
I don't. Because I think we haven't heard the story.
I quote retweeted him when he speculated early on in like 2016 or 2017 that the Jays would trade Josh Donaldson, and I was like, "Okay, Kenny, relax." And he actually replied to me and he said, "Hey, wise guy, I'm just answering questions people are asking." It's like, well. You're entertaining a dog-brained question, Kenny. But
use some discretion.
But like the Savage family was in Toronto. Like they were sitting in left field, like in the bleachers. They weren't even sitting in like just like in the most fucking blue collar like seats. Like you could have. The only way it would have been like more appropriate for like Trey Savage just being like a stone cold killer would be if they were in the like Corona bar, like general admission in the like top of the Rogers Center.
Yeah.
But Ken Rosenthal was like standing there talking to him, and they basically like hearing his parents describe him. There's going to be a fucking groundswell of support. Like a blue collar guy. They're essentially just describing like a hockey player mentality where they're just like, yeah, he just was born with this attitude, and all he knows is throw baseball, go lunch pail, blue collar, like, This is why Jose
He's
Bautista,
a folk hero.
Yeah, it's why people love Jose Bautista. Yeah. It's why people, or I saw someone call him the anti-Mitch Marner, which is really, really funny for the hockey fans if there's crossover here. Man, it is, like I said, he's like over the top. He's got the splitter. He's got, if that slider, I think Smoltz said this on the broadcast today, but like if he comes back next year, even like, and the slider's developed, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, he comes like over the top, like extreme over the top, like Justin Verlander. And he has a split finger fastball, a 97 mile an hour four seam fastball, and a 90 mile an hour slider. And he's 22. And his first two wins in the big leagues were with the division on the line and game 2 of the ALDS.
Yeah, that's kind of unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah.
Big pod for John Smoltz so far.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Steve's so happy about the fucking Jays that he's going Smoltz mode.
Yeah. I love the Fox Sports broadcast. I've never had any issue whatsoever with Fox media.
Any past statements that have come from me or my camp about the Fox Sports broadcast were under duress.
I just want to. Derek Jeter has looked incredibly defeated after these last couple games. I suppose it would be hard not to.
The cope, the truly hearing big, like, I know that this is part of why they've set it up this way. Like A-Rod calling Jeter captain and talking about how the Yankees can get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Poppy was on one. I mean, I know he's like very close with Vlad too. Like, I think Vlad has actually, I don't know if it's like an off-season thing, if they've actually like hung out or like he's helped or whatever, but you can just see like to see Big Poppy just be like, no one, you're not gonna, he's unstoppable. Like he went on a whole, there's again a great clip I was watching the pregame just before the postgame rather, before we got on here. And he was like, you could bring back Jesus. The Yankees aren't winning this series. Like, oh man, we got blasphemy.
Right.
The First Amendment the First Amendment is like rickety right now, but we have blasphemy on Fox Sports. Like we're still in okay shape. Yeah,
it's a good place for in. Good place for in.
There's so much shit today. Ernie Clement hitting that first home run after Yankees fans in fucking upstate New York were complaining about the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Like saying "Go Jays Go." Ernie Clement from Rochester, New York. His walk-up song is "Shout" by the Isley Brothers. That's how fucking Bills Mafia this guy is.
Wow.
Let's go.
Man, like I said, I think if you had told me that this was how it was going to go, I would say surely I'm being committed because there's no way.
And who are you rocking on the jersey right now?
Oh, this is just like a home gray. No one.
Okay.
This is a true like old throwback.
Hell
CCM.
yes.
Alex, I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but it's all about the name on the front of the jersey, not
That's
the back
right.
of the jersey, dude.
Especially for a team allergic to striking out.
That's right. Just keep pass the baton, as we say in the baseball
That's right.
world.
Keep the line moving.
Yep.
You mentioned Trey Savage's family and sitting out in the bleachers. Speaking of the bleachers and the crowd, obviously Rogers Center, when it gets going, can be as loud as anywhere in the baseball world. I think they showed up and showed out. Quite cinematic today with the roof open on a beautiful Toronto afternoon. Do you want to speak a little bit to how proud, or whether you're proud of your fellow Canadians for embarrassing the New York Yankees as they crossed the border up to Toronto?
It's so good. I think people I think people forget how much of a baseball city Toronto is, but also basketball just didn't ever take hold here the way that I think baseball did because the Jays won the World Series in the 90s, right? Excuse me, whatever. So they are Canada's team. Like, I love the Raptors, but when the Jays are going like this, Blake and I were texting, Blake Murphy, obviously friend of the pod, and he said this is probably the loudest he's heard it, at least since 2015, 2016. And I think they're lucky that the roof was open because when the roof is closed, it is fucking Thunderdome. Like, I was not at the bat flip game, the Batista game in 2015, but I did see all 3 games against Kansas City in the ALCS that year. Like, I was there. And that Marco Estrada game in game 4, where he throws the gem against Kansas City. Game 4, game 5, I can't remember. Just the fucking loudest it's ever been. And I think the DS sold out 44,000 tickets per game in 28 minutes.
Jesus.
And
that's not even with Ticketmaster scalpers, That's
that's
real
right.
people buying real tickets.
Yeah, it's the fever is so serious that I was looking at, they send when your team makes the playoffs, they send the get your guaranteed postseason access, buy a quarter, buy a 20 game package.
Alex, the playoffs is when the regular season ends and your team gets to keep playing.
Oh, that's mean.
That's
also rich coming from a Mets fan. I'm the
I was going to say that.
Glass houses, brother.
Yeah. You can't.
NLCS last year, dog. Last year, less than 12 months ago. All right, cool it.
I love it. There's the home field. They're so good at home that there are Yankees accounts being the Blue Jays need to be investigated, as though it's the Astros all over again. It's just if Max Fried didn't turn into a pumpkin every time he crossed the border, maybe you wouldn't be coping like this.
Yeah. Speak on it. Speak that truth.
It's so
Can I read you guys
good.
some stats? Can I read you guys some stats about the Yankees in the postseason?
Yes.
This comes from Jolly
Please.
Olive, Mets podcaster at John Boy.
Has anyone checked in on John Boy, by the way?
They're probably live on YouTube right now if you want to be honest.
I assume everyone who is involved with Talking Yanks has just spontaneously combusted.
Yeah, right.
The stat here is the Yankees in the postseason since 2015. Against AL Central teams, they're 19-6. Against everyone else, non-AL Central teams, they are 10-24. They have not beaten a non-AL Central team in a 5-game playoff series since 2012, and they have lost 6 straight such series. They have to win 3 in a row against Toronto to change this, obviously. So 2012 was the last time they beat a team that was not from the AL Central in the playoffs.
Yes, that wasn't Cleveland or Minnesota.
AL Central merchants?
Yeah. They're like, could you guys start Barrios in game 3, please?
Like, we know we can beat that guy. Yeah.
We're starting a different guy from the AL Central, one that you're going to have more trouble with.
Yeah.
Also, fuck Michael K.
Period.
That's
fuck
right.
that guy. There's a really... do you see everyone was mad at Buck Martinez because he said that he just flat out was like, the Yankees are a bad team. Just straight up. Like, yeah. And everyone was obviously like, oh, Buck Martinez, like, you go fishing, brother, like take a hike. And then there's a tweet that I saw during the game, and it's the screen grab of Kendrick Lamar at the halftime show before he delivers the line with that smile, and it just says Buck Martinez.
So obviously we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
No, certainly
up 2
not.
Nothing, looking strong, looking good. Even if they close this series out, they will still have to beat either the Mariners or the Tigers to continue on. Have you thought about what your life will look like? You're in the middle of a tour that I assume is not going to end before the Blue Jays, the playoffs are over, right? So what's your
tour
plan?
yet? So
cancel the tour? Are you announcing you're canceling the tour?
This is going to ruin the tour.
Yeah.
If this tour doesn't kill you, the Blue Jays might.
That's right.
There you go.
I think actually, so I'll be on this tour for the DS. The earliest the CS starts is Sunday, I believe. I think Sunday is game 1. So if they do make it, and you know what, like, I'm obviously having a good time here. You have to win. You have to win at Yankee Stadium. Not impossible, but not fun. Not a fun thing to do. I mean, the Red Sox did it, so how hard could it be? I guess, but like.
Keep it coming. This is good. The vibes are good right now.
Do you know how many fucking years it's been watching either the Red Sox or the Yankees win this division and then act like anytime the Jays win, it's like an accident? This is great. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's hard to win on the road. Especially, I feel like this year in baseball. Like, it feels like a lot of teams were just like dog shit on the road, and the Jays were like 500 on the, so it's like, okay, it's not a guarantee, but I probably will be emailing our agent being like, all right, I'm looking at game 2. Game 2 is Canadian Thanksgiving, so I'll be home, and like my whole family is like all like sick Jays fan. Like, dude, the vibes are so good that my aunt and dad are texting each other like AI baseball slop.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
My dad
like photos or copy
during the
pasta?
game. Yeah. He sent me a text during the game, and it was like a screenshot of like a Facebook post, and it's just like a very clearly AI generated Blue Jay standing on top of a New York Yankees helmet covered in bird shit.
If it works, it works,
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Whatever Lake got torched for this one,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Every once in a while, there is an exception that proves the rule. Like a couple weeks ago, I sent Alex a tweet that was a photo of the end of Seven, but AI generated, and it's like Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Gwyneth Paltrow's head in the box, and they're all smiling at the camera.
Oh my god!
Like it does sneak one in every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's why you're in on Sora, Bobby, right? You're the big Sora adopter.
I mean, yeah, this podcast, all of our clips go straight to Sora,
Right.
Honestly, I wanted the Yankees. I think, the big brain shit. It's like the meme of the like Jedi monk, small brain, and then the big brain is the guy crying, and then it's the small, the monk again. Yeah. I'm like on this side now. I think the meaty middle was like, we want the Red Sox. They're the worst team. And I was like, we want the Yankees because we might actually be able to rid baseball of Aaron Boone.
Frankly, that would be worthy of a wellness check on the John Boy folks. On top
Yeah,
if they fire Aaron Boone.
I don't know. Like Cashman, they have a roster with 16 DHs, so I don't know if.
Can you power rank the Yankees that you have the most smoke for? Like Boone, Cashman,
who do I have
whatever.
The most smoke for? Yeah, Boone's up there. I think Jazz Chisholm Jr. went from like being one of the most likable guys in baseball to just being like, how did you turn into like if you had gone anywhere else, even to Boston? Sorry, Alex, but you'd still be likable. And you're just like such an unlikable guy as a Yankee. I have no idea. Like, I think Ben Rice, it's beautiful that he learned Spanish at Dartmouth, barely an Ivy League school, to connect with his players better. He looks like he'll never be able to grow a beard. I feel bad for Aaron Judge. I don't even have smoke for him.
Right.
I don't think about you at all. They're like, it's so insane. Again, I love watching the FS1 broadcast because I get to hear, the American perspective is always going to be a little bit more Yankees heavy, even though they're like fawning over Vlad right now. And they're just like, Aaron Judge is going to be 34 next year. This is after today's game. They're like, he's going to be 34. His prime is almost over. Mm-hmm. What are the Yankees doing? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh man, this is beautiful. This is so good.
This is music to my ears.
Yeah. What else? Let's see. I think, who else do I not like? Let's see here. I mean, Anthony Volpe.
I would say actually, yeah.
Yeah. Anthony Volpe might be bad enough that Yankees fans will start believing that Derek Jeter was overrated, like the rest of us do.
That's right. Completely move the Overton window.
Yeah. They're like, have we ever had a good shortstop?
Yeah.
That's like what Yankees fans are going to be. Let's see what else. Trent Grisham. The stash is great. I can't wait for someone to overpay him and for him to just like not hit 34 home runs because he's playing in a ballpark with normal fucking dimensions.
Yep.
Who else? Who else do I not like? I don't know. Austin Wells. Fuck you too, man. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Get his ass.
I do think I hate Austin Wells because he's on the Yankees, and I think everyone on the Yankees is inherently corny. I do, however, think that Austin Wells looks most like a guy you might see at a PUP concert.
Sure.
Of all the players in this series, that's a guy I've seen before. I've been around that guy.
Yeah. Max Fried too, a little bit, I will say.
Yeah.
Like he's a bit of a I don't know. I just think I actually think in terms of like how many unlikable teams the Yankees have rolled out in the last 30 years, this is not like a particularly unlikable one. Mm-hmm. But they're the fucking Yankees.
Agreed.
So they can kiss my ass.
I think last year's team was actually more unlikable. That's a take that I have. Mm-hmm. Mostly because of the Juan Soto situation, because they pulled off that trade for like kind of not that much, and every Yankees fan assumed that he was going to be on the team forever, and Steve Cohen delivered us
a beautiful
Thank you, Steve Cohen.
And
thank
also,
you, Steve Cohen.
Oh, you know what? Garrett Cole. Fuck you, Garrett Cole.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Yankees would have won the division if Cole didn't get hurt. Oh, the Yankees could have hung around in game 2 if Max Fried pitched. Well, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They didn't. He got hurt. The Yankees took 2 months off in the regular season and are complaining about the tiebreaker. And Max Fried was dog shit. So fuck that.
Yeah, it's giving if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike, you know?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
exactly.
like
exactly.
Sure. I would have gotten drafted if I'd hit a little better.
We are posting. The only thing that kept me from the NBA was that I couldn't wear contact lenses.
Right.
Except I think that actually is the only thing that kept me from being an elite fighter jet pilot. So, you know,
Right. I mean,
to
hey, you know,
I think
but that's different. You're built different.
Yeah.
I am built
It's
different.
not too late. It's not too late. I hear they're looking.
I won't get LASIK though. I don't know how you guys feel about LASIK. I'm not doing it. I
I'm
don't
a glasses
trust
guy.
it. Yeah, me too. I'd be happy to not wear my glasses, but just the idea that I have to trust just some guy who like advertises his LASIK business on the radio to fix my eyesight. I don't. I'm way too
random guy with a laser. I don't know. I had to go to the
Is that
financial
how most
district.
people are finding their LASIK doctors? Just listening to the radio and being like,
let's
"This guy
go-
sounds
let's go with yes."
reputable."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just
we're gonna go
you
with
know, you
yes.
find
It's a booming
yourself walking
business.
down a dark alley and there's a guy and he's like, "Look at this laser." Now you go sit in front of it, Chief. Yeah. Okay. Up to nothing.
And Michael K. I fucking hate Michael K.
Yeah, I mean, yes, completely agree. Up to nothing. Jays are looking great. Are you willing to come on as our Toronto correspondent should the Jays continue to steamroll through the postseason?
I mean, I if not me, who? Blake.
Right.
Blake's busy. Blake has to cover the team. I get to sit around and watch them.
Right.
Yeah. You can speak truth to power. You know, Blake
That's right.
has to be
Mhm.
professional.
Yeah, I'm here whenever you need me. It's crazy. It is so crazy. Yeah, 2-0. I mean, it does feel like if the Jays score first in game 3, it is gonna get grim in Yankee Stadium.
I almost want to be
honestly
there.
what
I almost
think.
want to be there for it. Like, I'm almost tempted to go.
That's what I will say as someone who has walked into Yankee Stadium in a playoff game wearing the opposing team's gear, it puts a little pep in your step, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of nice.
You're
It
like
feels
the guy
your armor.
wearing the convicted felon shirt on the
Yeah, right,
airplane.
right,
That's
exactly.
you
Yes,
waiting for
yeah.
the first person to say something to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Especially
like,
when
"Oh."
can you? What is the New York Post going to say tomorrow?
I'm picking up a copy, that's for sure.
Man,
They're going to call for
like-
tribunals for Cashman and Boone if they get swept out by the Jays.
They were trying to get Ken Rosenthal to come up. This is how we know he's like deeply uncreative. They were trying to get him to come up with tabloid headlines for the New York City, and he was just like, he couldn't come up. He was just like being alliterative for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like, come on, Ken,
There's
give us
an art to
something,
it.
man. Yeah. Come on the bandwagon. Come on the bandwagon. Do not worry about John Schneider's management of the bullpen. He is fine. Everyone was like, I can't believe the bullpen gave up 7 runs. I was like, he put, with no disrespect to like Tommy Nance and all those guys,
Never.
there's a day off tomorrow. He used Varland and Dominguez. Sure. Okay. I don't love it. Although I think Varland striking out Stanton with the bases loaded on 101 miles an hour yesterday, it will be burned in my memory for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He mostly threw that maybe you see in game 4, maybe Eric Lauer starts in game 4 in a little more of a comfortable position that he did all year. I think he's the AL manager of the year. I think
Wow, okay.
I think he's pulled so many strings or not pulled strings. I think I was listening last night. I was all like day off. I'd had a couple of drinks after a fun show in San Francisco. edible had kicked in. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna listen to the Jay's Collins show before I go to bed.
Hell
It's like, Blair Barker. This is Ron from Ajax, Ontario. I just want to say, the Stones on John Schneider for some reason he's a New Yorker. I don't know why. Like to leave Kevin Gosman in there, unbelievable stuff. Actually, it's more like oh wait, hold on. It's like
Yeah, we go. Tap into the accent work. We need to hear it. We need it.
Oh yeah. I really do think that John Schneider did a great job there, leaving Kevin Gosman in. I think conventionally you might take him out, but I think leaving him in to strike out Judge, and then to get Rice to pop up, and then then you bring in Varland. That's fucking right on. Yeah.
I love it.
I was like,
that was almost like a shade away from Irish for a second. In there.
Yeah. It's a bit of like, no, not sure I agree 100% with you on your police work there, Lou. Like a bit of Fargo.
Yes, right. You perfectly captured the spirit of like the sports talk radio caller who doesn't have a question, but just kind of wanted to like say their thoughts to someone who was listening. So they'll just like say something and then be like, what are your thoughts on that?
Meanwhile,
you're absolutely right, Jim. Like,
right. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the WFAN calls are all, they're all like, Aaron Boone, is this worse than 9/11 or just the same as 9/11?
It's so bad that even Deezus doesn't have any posts.
Right.
Like he just was like,
he's too busy posting with the new Taylor Swift album.
I think that's the best one of the best tweets I've ever seen, by the way.
His tweet about the Taylor Swift album?
Yeah. Just go. I'm not even going to, it's blue. And I'm just going to let it, if people are listening, go look it up. But he couldn't even, all he had was the Yankees are losing because of woke. And I'm like, oh, dude, come on. You're Jesus.
Yeah,
you have more than this. You have more juice.
Pulling from the bottom of the barrel on that one.
Yeah, because you got no answers, just like Aaron fucking Boone.
Okay, Steve, congratulations on not just your Toronto Blue Jays, but our Toronto Blue Jays.
Bugs Bunny Soviet meme, our Toronto Blue Jays.
Our Toronto Blue Jays. We appreciate your time from the road. Should the Blue Jays advance, we would like to keep this going. The Chronicles of the Torontonian throughout the playoffs.
Of course.
Good luck with the tour.
Thanks.
Good luck with trying to stay on top of Blue Jays baseball while on the tour. It's much more important than staying on top of your chords. It's much more important than staying rested for your stage presence. We don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear you singing well. We need to hear you screaming during Blue Jays games. So maybe keep your priorities straight on the road.
That's right. The one saving grace of being on the West Coast to end this tour is that the 8 p.m. game starts at 5 o'clock, which means I'm done sound check and don't have to go on stage for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
So I get to
Rob
just
Manfred's
watch.
Woke pitch clock. It's going to be
That's
done
right.
For sure.
That's right, baby. Shane Bieber.
All right, Steve. We'll talk soon.
Yes. Take care.
Thanks to Steve. Thanks to Taylor Swift. Thanks to Engelbert Strauss.
Yeah. Thanks to Travis Kelce.
Thanks to Travis Kelce. Yeah, I get. No, actually, you know what? Don't thank Travis Kelce on this podcast, please. You of all people should know, we are not in the business of handing out clout to other podcasters for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Travis Kelce wants us to thank him, come on the pod.
Mm-hmm. Exactly my thoughts.
Have us on your little pod or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little thing they have going over there. Whatever.
It's cute. It's good. I'm happy for them that they have this.
I'm glad that they pivoted to video and that worked out for them, but it's just not for us. It's just not for us. Have you ever listened to that pod? What do you think
Only
about
one
her
episode?
What do you think about her saying the name of the pod on the album? That's gonna age like milk.
Oh, does she? I don't even know if I caught that.
Yeah. She says New Heights of Manhood.
Nice.
in the song.
Nice.
This is what I'm talking about. Like this is what I mean. Where I'm just like, are you 13?
I feel like that's one of the lines that will not age as poorly because people are going to forget what the New Heights podcast was in like 3 years.
Not if they come on here and promote it.
That's true. They're just waiting for that tipping pitches bump.
No, the New Heights podcast is going to be like Good Morning America in 3 years.
Oh, God.
You saw your boy Theo Vaughn was on College Game Day and he got swerved
Yeah, I did.
by Jess Sims.
Mm-hmm.
Goated. Jess Sims is goated. Love her for that.
This was an episode of Tipping Pitches. Whatever that means these days. Don those tinfoil caps.
Godspeed to you and your baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk to you in a week. I think we don't have a Patreon episode this week.
No.
But if you want to hear last week's Patreon episode, patreon.com/tippingpitches. $5, $10. Those are the 2 tiers. If you want to hear the extra episodes, you got to go to the $10 tier. You can sign up annually for a 15% discount. It's the effective price of $8.50 a month. Please stick around for the end of this episode where we are sharing a segment from our friend Mike Schubert's podcast, which is called Horse. It's about basketball. Mike thinks about basketball in many of the same ways that we think about baseball. If you've been a long-time listener, you probably know Mike from coming on this podcast. He's been on our Patreon. He's been here on the main feed before. This is a wonderful podcast. Mike was nice enough to run an excerpt from our segment during Sipping Pitches. And so we are returning the favor here at the end of the show. So just stick around and check that out, especially if you're looking for a new basketball podcast as the NBA season approaches. And more importantly, as we're in the midst of the WNBA finals. We'll be back here with another episode of Tipping Pitches in a week. Back on Patreon sometime middle of next week. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alex Rodriguez. Tipping Pitches.
Tipping pitches.
This is the one that I love the most.
Tipping pitches.
So we'll see you next week. See ya!
So with the WNBA expanding, I was reminded that I once did a 3-on-3 for the best and worst defunct WNBA team names because now some of them are no longer defunct. And then I was thinking like, oh, I don't know if I've done that with the NBA on this episode, but I know there's one group that I definitely did not do it with, and I will be doing it for this 3-on-3. We're going to do the best and the worst defunct NBA G League team names.
Oh, interesting.
So-
I actually didn't know that there were a lot of interesting ones because I feel like a lot of them are just like the G League Bulls.
There's a couple of those now, but there's actually quite a few wild ones that happened in the past. So for anyone unfamiliar, the NBA G League is basically like the minor leagues for the NBA. I think every team has some sort of affiliate. I think there are a couple of G League teams that don't have a direct affiliate. I think maybe just the Mexico City team now. Like it used to also be the G League Ignite, which was kind of like a team that funneled people into the draft. But now with the NIL deals in college, that team didn't really need to exist anymore. Right. So the G League used to be called the D League, where the D stood for developmental, but that just kind of started to sound, like D, like the grade. And then also the G does stand for Gatorade. So it is a branded sponsor thing as well.
It's the Gatorade League?
Oh, you didn't know that's what the G stands for?
No.
Yeah, the G
That's
stands
so
for
funny.
Gatorade. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they bought the rights to it. And so it's this weird thing of like, well, I guess that's better than D League, but it is sponsored. But it's at least a relevant one. Like, it's not like the Meineke Car League or something, it's right. Or the Bad Boy Mowers League. Like, it's at least Gatorade is like, yeah, basketball, sure.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
The G League, originally the NBA DL was, or I think maybe just NBDL, maybe not NBA DL, NBDL.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The NBDL was founded in 2001, with its first season being 2001 to 2002.
NBDL sounds like trying to do like shorthand for no big deal.
No big deal. Yeah, it's like your parent messing up an acronym. Yeah.
Right.
So The NBDL began, and there was a lot of teams in the southeastern United States. Like there were 4 teams in the Carolinas when it began. And then a lot of these teams like moved around and stuff. So when I was looking at the defunct names, it's a lot of like, this team used to be this, used to be this, used to be this. And now they're the South Bay Lakers. So even though a lot of the teams now, or at least a portion of them now, have like the same name or a related name, they had eras before where they had wild ones. So let's go into the worst, because it's always more fun to end on a positive note.
Sure.
So my number 3 worst team name is the Arkansas Rim Rockers, where Rim Rockers is one word and then the R's are both capitalized. I think like this could be a fun name if they leaned more into the absurd nature of the name, but like the logo was just like a basketball going through a rim, and the colors were red, white, and blue. So it didn't feel like they embraced the Rim Rocker nature. Now, if the Rim Rockers was like Cleveland's G League team and it was all
like
music, rock and roll Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like they were the Rim Rockers. It seemed like they were the Rim Rockers, and that's not as much fun. Also, like seems like there's no tie to Arkansas. There's no reason. It doesn't sound particularly cool. Now, I will say that they did have a brief stint where they moved to La Crosse, Wisconsin, and the La Crosse Rim Rockers sounds very good. But I think specifically the Arkansas Rim Rockers just feels like, what are we doing? I don't know. It didn't seem particularly fun.
Yeah, and you'd hope that they would have fun with the merch and stuff the way minor league baseball teams do, where it's like, let's just make the merch as outlandish as possible and really like buy into the absurdity of the name.
Yeah. Didn't work out though. So my number 2 is actually going to multiple teams. This is going to the Colorado 14ers, the Tulsa 66ers, and the Delaware 87ers. Now, I know that it is a thing, like the Philadelphia 76ers didn't invent the thing. It was like a thing that like a lot of old teams would do. But at least when you're creating a league in the year 2001, you can not have to do this old school thing. And I feel like by this point in time, if you were making a basketball team after 2000 and it's going to be an team, you should be the Sixers G League affiliate. So I'm actually going to give the Delaware 87ers a pass because they are the Sixers G League affiliate. I think that's totally fine. I'm sure 1987 has some sort of reason that they did it. I didn't look it up because I've already.
Do they exist anymore or no?
They do. They are their current G League.
I feel like as someone born in 1987, I feel like I might need some merch from them.
Ooh, yeah. Their logo is cool. I wonder if they changed their name. Let me quick Google it. But there was something, they might have changed from the 87ers to something else. Yes, sorry. So they are now the Delaware Bluecoats. They rebranded in 2018.
Then I shan't be buying merch.
But the Delaware Bluecoats, the logo's pretty cool. It's like a horse wearing a varsity jacket with the outline of the state of Delaware where like the varsity letter would be, and then the 76 of the 76ers logo on the sleeve. So
horses don't wear coats, Michael.
Oh, dang, you're right. My bad. But I do want to say that a fun thing about the Delaware 87ers is that they used to be called the Utah Flash, which makes me think of Utah Jash,
Yeah,
our
I like
producer level
that.
patron. Now, I looked up the reasoning behind the 14ers and the 66ers. The Colorado 14ers are named after Colorado's 14,000-foot mountain peaks, which does not feel like a good enough reason to be the 14ers.
I mean, people in Colorado know that. Like, that is a thing that I've heard about, but
Okay.
I don't think anyone else knows what that means. And also, it's not great.
And then Tulsa, the 66ers, was because of Route 66, which runs through Tulsa and Oklahoma. But like Route 66 also goes through other cities and states. So I don't know. The 66ers
I feel like
just felt
Tulsa
weird.
has more things that people could know about it than that Route 66 goes through there, as it does many other states as well.
Yeah, they could be the Tulsa Bill Hader's from here-ers, and I think that would be a little bit better.
The Haterers.
The Haterers, yeah, the Chenowethers. Yeah, like I think you could do some better stuff there. Also, just 66ers is too close to 76ers if you're not going to be the G League affiliate. But yeah, all the got my second worst. But my number 1 worst goes to the Los Angeles Defenders, but it is not Defenders. It's D-Fenders. I think inspired by the fact that it was called the D League. So they were the Defenders. The reason that they got the number one worst spot is because their name was chosen in a Name the Team contest, which had a March Madness style bracket with 64 team names, and voting took place from April to June 2006. And there was this whole big bracket, and Breakers actually was the original team name, which is cool. But they couldn't go with Breakers because the Lakers organization learned that there was a local co-ed dwarf basketball team already using the name. So they couldn't be the Los Angeles Breakers, which already sounds cool. And then they're the G League team for the Lakers. Like, so you got the Lakers and the Breakers.
Yeah.
Like, and
Real quick, what is
thematic.
a dwarf basketball team? Does that mean
I would
like
assume short.
little people?
Yes.
Or children?
I would assume little people. Let me just Google Los Angeles.
I've just never heard
Breakers
that term before.
Dwarf basketball. Okay. Here's an article from 1989 that says LA Breakers pursue third consecutive Dwarf Athletic Association basketball championship. So that's fun in the Los Angeles Times. I don't know if they are still around. Nothing is really showing up on Google, but
That's okay. I just had never heard that term before.
Yeah, I had not heard it, but it does seem like the last articles I can see about it are from like the mid 2000s, I guess, when they were forming this. So yeah, I personally don't know if dwarf is now an outdated term. If, you know, like, I'm pretty sure little people is more accepted, but I don't know if they're separate.
I think, to be completely honest with you, I feel like dwarf is something that like people thought was bad, and then people who are actually in the community, in the same way that black people are like, you can say black person, you don't have to say African American, because like I have a friend who is black, he's Jamaican American, he's not African American, he considers himself Jamaican American. Anyway,
quick Googling says that dwarf is more of a medical term to describe someone who has dwarfism. So maybe that's like any sort of thing. But yeah, I guess maybe all the players are people with dwarfism. I don't know. Maybe we could. Look, could be a future that actually happened if I can find more things more than just a cursory Google. But regardless.
Also, the Breakers would be a fun team name for a team that plays in Rhode Island, because the Breakers is like a very famous mansion in Newport.
The more
where
you
one
know.
of the old rich fat cats lived, Carnegie or Rockefeller, one of those peeps.
Fancy schmancy. But yeah, Defenders, I don't know how this won a 64 team name vote thing, because people are just like, it's got D in it. Like, I don't get how that went.
And then with a hyphen, it sounds like fender, like a car fender. And that's like a weird thing too.
Or fender like guitar. Again, we're making more and more G League teams for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
Now let's get into the three best ones. They're more fun. So number 3 is going to the Charleston Low Gators. I don't know what a low gator is. I don't know if that's different than a
All
regular
gators seem
gator.
low.
Yeah, but
they're pretty low to the ground, are they not?
When I Google low gator, the first result is Charleston Low Gators. And then the second thing is like shoes, like low top gator skin shoes. So I don't really know if that's anything different, but you got the Charleston Low Gators, who previously were called the North Charleston Low Gators, to be even more specific. So they began in the D League in 2001. Alex English, NBA legend, was their first coach. They were renamed the Charleston Low Gators in 2003, and then they eventually relocated to Fort Myers in 2004 and became the Florida Flame, which I think is a fun phonetic one. The Florida Flame.
Sure.
Is fun
but also
to say.
in Florida, they could have still been the Gators, and it would have made just as much sense.
Would have made lots of sense. But that's my number 3 on it, because just like, what's a low gator? I don't know, but it's cool. I like it. For my number 2 team, I'm going with the Roanoke Dazzle. The Dazzle. I just love it. It sounds so antiquated.
No just Dazzle?
They're just the Dazzle. The Roanoke Dazzle. So they were one of the original teams. So on July 18th, 2001, it was announced that the team would be called the Dazzle. And this was purposefully chosen because they did not want to invoke Roanoke's railroad heritage, which we all know about, because they have two other professional teams, the Roanoke Express, who at the time at least were a minor league hockey team, and the Roanoke Steam, an arena football team. So they were like, we don't want to be the train team. What's the opposite of trains? Dazzle. But here's what's wild about it. Their logo is a star, which makes sense because of Dazzle, on top of railroad tracks. So they decided, no, we cannot be railroad team. However, our logo will be a star going down a railroad track with a basketball in the background. But yeah, I don't know why that would be the decision.
It's unclear to me as well.
But regardless, I think Dazzle is a very fun name, worthy of the number 2 spot, second only to my number 1 pick, the Greenville Groove.
Groove.
I like
Groove and Dazzle. We got all sorts of retro terms.
Yeah. Groove, I think, is just a fun team name. Greenville Groove is some fun alliteration. And I feel like it works for South Carolina. You know, you got some good music in that part of America.
It feels very 60s, 70s, like an ABA team almost.
Yes, it really, really does. And I think it just sounds very different from any other team. I also have a soft spot in this because in my create a team, my league in NBA 2K19 or 20 or 21, it was something. I have an NBA 2K game where I created an expansion team and I made them the Vancouver Groove because I thought it was fun.
The Van Groovers.
Exactly. And for there to actually have been a basketball team called the Groove makes me very happy. So there's also some cool stuff about the Groove. Stephanie Reddy was the team's only assistant coach, and she became the first woman to serve as coach on an all-male professional basketball team.
Very cool.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Milton Barnes served as head coach in the first season. They won the D-League championship, and then he, the next season, left the job so that he could become the head coach of the Harlem Globetrotters. I did not know they had coaches.
What are they working on?
I don't know. I can only assume it's a higher paying gig, but I did not know that they had coaches. So yes, they actually won the first NBDL championship. There was a best of 3 final series between them and the North Charleston Low Gators, and they swept them 2-0. Now, the Groove also played in the first ever NBDL game. It was between the Groove and the Low Gators. So they played in the first game ever, and they faced each other in the finals, which I think is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this game featured Ansu Sese, who won MVP of the league in 2002, Fred House, who won Rookie of the Year in 2002, Jeff Myers, who won Defensive Player of the Year in 2002, and then Alex English, NBA Hall of Famer, as the head coach. And then you've got Stephanie Reddy in there as the first women's coach of an all-male basketball team. And that's the history of the Greenville Groove, my number 1 pick for the coolest name of a defunct NBA G League team.
I love that. That was really fun. And I've never heard of really any of those teams, and I would assume most of our listeners have not as well. So
I hadn't either. I would highly recommend people go to the Wikipedia page for defunct G League team names. There's 29 in the list there. It was very hard just to limit it to these 6. And honestly, they're all great. Like I could have done the 3 best and the 3 other best. There's a lot of fun ones in there, a lot of fun logos. I couldn't find a logo for the Greenville Groove, which was disappointing.
If there's not like tie-dye involved, what are we even doing?
Their colors are blue and green, which is fun, but I couldn't find any logo that was not just Greenville Groove written in the NBDL font, which is very PlayStation 3 or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie looking, just like a very like, it's 2001, everybody. Like I think their logo was just the NBDL logo with Groove written. I don't think they had like a specific special other logo, but they had bright lime green jerseys and blue alternate ones, and they looked cool as they grooved their way to the first ever NBDL title.
Sounds groovy to me.
Hey.